Welcome to the Ivory Egg technical briefing on the 20th of April for some Theben product news. As per most manufacturers, Theben had a lot to release for light and building, and with that being postponed, they've proceeded to release the products anyway, which is great for everybody. So, a couple of new things, some new keypads and thermostats, a couple of new actuators, and then a new wireless weather station solution for LuxorLiving. So, we'll get started. The first one is the new Ion keypads. Now, there's two versions, the Ion 2 and Ion 4, which is a two button. It is kind of a rocker though. It is rocking top and bottom. It's not contact. It is the whole frame does remove, so it is a push rocker per se. But yeah, you've got a two button version and a four button version. The inner field can be a labeling field, as you can see in the images below. And it's got quite a couple of cool features. It can do push and long push like you'll get with most KNX manufacturers, but it also has a double click function, so you can have a lot more functionality in the keypad. And in terms of what it can control, it's got the normal kind of switching, dimming blinds, value transmitter. It can do operating mode for HVAC as well, scenes, but it can also send a color, temperature, or start a sequence. So you can use the RGB or RGB W data point type within KNX, and you can send a color directly from the button push, or you can do a sequence which will push it and then it can trigger. I think it's a 4-step sequence, so that's quite interesting, and certainly a new amount of functionality that I haven't seen before in a keypad. LEDs, they're multicolor, as in you can select from 9 different colors, and you've options for flashing and pulsing, so you can do overrides or alarm statuses. You could use it for notifications, that kind of thing. It comes as a complete unit. It's available in white if you want. Integrated bus coupler, everything together. It's got a temperature sensor as well, just a temperature sensor, no regulation. It supports data secure, as in proper KNX data secure, so the objects from the device can all be encrypted, and it's available now. It's priced very competitively. It's not trying to win any awards for the best looking, but it's designed to be functional and just do what it says on the tin, if you like. So I think it's certainly an interesting opportunity to maybe open up the type of projects we approach with KNX, because it does bring the price point down to a low enough point that it's very, very competitive against other solutions, or also maybe as an introductory step from using standard 230 volt up into the KNX world. It's kind of aimed at that market. It's also available in LuxorLiving versions. Slightly different parameters with them because you're configuring it through the LuxorLiving environment. But yeah, there's a 2-button and a 4-button available in LuxorLiving as well. Then there's the Ion 108, which is a room controller. So same design, but instead of having the buttons, you're using the display, and you're cycling through a wheel on the display, and then the buttons top and bottom will control the function on the screen. So you can have 20 functions in a wheel, if you like, and that can have 40 icons. But it includes a thermostat, so it's got the full thermostat function. Now, in terms of buttons, it's got the same parameter options as the ones we just covered. So you've got the switching, dimming, that color control, sequence, blinds, all the normal kind of things. So it's a design that's becoming a bit more commonplace. There's a few different manufacturers now kind of using this design of having the screen in the middle, and then the buttons top and bottom. One of the really interesting things with it is there's a Bluetooth app, so you can control if you're within range of the unit, you're using Bluetooth directly to the keypad, and then you can use an app to mimic the function, which I think is quite interesting. Again, on the right type of project, that could be a really interesting function for a customer. It might be just the type of level of control they're after. They want something on the wall that's fairly easy to use, and then just want an app for if they're in the room to control the device. They're not looking for remote access or anything. complicated like that. So it could be quite interesting. Again, integrated bus coupler and supports KNX data secure, and it's already available. There's a LuxorLiving version as well. So yeah, I think between the Ion range with the 3 different keypads, it's Theben's first real foray into keypads, and I think it completes the solution, particularly with LuxorLiving, to mean that you can do an end-to-end solution with LuxorLiving, or on a KNX project, just gives a keypad at a different price point, which is something often asked for. So a couple of other things that they've released: some new heating actuators, the HU1 and the HU1RF. So it's a 1-channel flush-mounted heating actuator in a twisted pair version and an RF version. Integrated temperature controller. So, everything that you need basically for controlling a single zone. You've got the integrated logic. You've got inputs for a temperature probe, or you could be getting that off the bus. And you've got an output, and it's a triac output, so it's silent switching of 230 volt, designed for valve heads, not designed for pumps or anything. It is just designed for valve heads. It's got internally, it reads its device temperature. So if you're mounting it in a back box or mounting it in an enclosed space, you can monitor the device and make sure that it's not overheating, which is separate to the binary inputs, which have two binary inputs, one for two binary, one can be used for temperature, which is on input 2. So supports data secure as well, as everything is now, pretty much all new products. And this is going to be available from June, and we're going to see a LuxorLiving version. I think this is really interesting, particularly the wireless one. It's something that we're asked for a lot, is wireless control of heating. We've had relays and dimming for quite a while, but this is really kind of completing the wireless range of devices from Theben, to give you control of all device types really. And then the wired one, again, just a nice little additional functionality when you've got just one zone of heating, or maybe you could possibly use it for radiators as well, so that could be another option. To go with that, there's a new wireless push button interface. This is a 4-channel push button interfaces, so it's got 4 binary inputs. And then it's got an additional input for temperature probe. And the way they've done that is really, because most manufacturers will give you a 4-channel input, and you can put temperature probes on them. But with this, then you can only have 3 buttons and temperature. Whereas with this additional input, you've got 4 inputs, 4 buttons, nice and simple, and then a temperature probe input as well. It will need to be the Theben one. So just keep in mind that, watch out for manufacturers where they've got an NTC probe and it has to be the specific probe type. It's not using one of the more standard formats of NTC or the standardized PT1000. So it's got so in terms of functionality, it can do switching, dimming blinds, and you've got that temperature measurement function. Again, supports KNX data secure, and available from June along with the other one. The unit does have on it, looks like it's got a 230 volt output. That's not a function that's available on, they're not used at the moment. The connections are on the side of the device. So yeah, with that, the HU1 for heating and the other relays and blind and dimming units we already have, the Theben RF range is getting very complete now, and I think starting to become more relevant, something to keep in mind on projects really. This is really starting to open up what can be achieved in an RF installation. Cool, right. The last one is the LuxorLiving weather station solution. Now, LuxorLiving as a solution has a couple of really unique things, characteristics. One is price point. It's obviously aimed at quite low price point, but also ease of configuring. And one of the strengths of it is using it in an apartment type project or MDU project where you don't need a huge amount of functionality. You just want to be able to get it installed quickly and easily. What the weather station solution is expands that and enables you to have one central weather station, and that can connect to multiple internal units. So if you're doing a 20 apartment building, 20 apartments, then if you were using the standard weather station, you'd have to do a weather station um, per apartment, which obviously isn't feasible. So to solve that, They've come up with a solution. So you install one external weather sensor, the M100, and then that then connects to up to 20 of the M130 base units. They're wired on their own bus. It's a two-wire bus that connects them all together. And then, yeah, you get everything you'd expect from a weather station. You've got the evaluation of wind, rain, temperature, and brightness in 3 directions. That comes from the weather station. And then the M130 base unit does all the logic for your automatic blinds, sun protection control, can handle up to 4 facades. So keeps that cost down because you're not putting a weather station in each. And, you know, really, really simple way of handling it. Now, this is only for LuxorLiving at the moment, but we're kind of hoping they're going to bring this out for KNX as well. Because, you know, putting in a KNX backbone to link all your apartments together, whilst absolutely viable, is often quite a overhead in terms of cost just to get to the one weather station centrally. Whereas this way might be a simpler way of doing that on an MDU project. So yeah, quite interesting. It's already available, which is great. And it's just another little extension to the LuxorLiving solution, which is really starting to make it more viable on certain projects. You know, you've always got the option with KNX, and you've always got the option with LuxorLiving to change it to a KNX installation. But in terms of kind of commissioning and the range of products, it's a very simple solution that's just programmed via its own app. You're not using ETS or anything, so it's one to watch out for. Right, that's it. Thank you for watching this Ivory Egg technical briefing on Theben new products. Lots of other videos available on the channel. Please subscribe and watch out for the next one. Thank you very much.